Welcome to the Dating Masterminds podcast. My name is Daniel Mercy and I'm here with one of the greatest dating coaches in the whole world. And his name is Dan, or maybe you know him as Bad Boy. Say hello, Dan.
Hi, guys.
What we're going to talk about in this episode is everything you have to know about rejections, about getting a no from a woman. And the reason we want to talk about rejections and start even to dissect the idea of rejections is because any man in this world that will ever try to date women that are on his league or above his league will always get rejected, okay? Most men are going for girls that are much lower than their league to bulletproof themselves from rejection, but we are not talking to these type of men. We are talking to the men who wants the best of life and the best of women to date. And this is exactly what we are here to do and to talk about this time. And before we'll go actually into the rejection thing, I would like to go through why men are afraid of rejection, okay? Because like I told you, most men, the average guy, would probably try to avoid rejection, maybe by trying to date girls that are much lower on the way he sees them than him, okay? Or maybe by just not trying, whatever comes to me, I'm happy with it, or like trying behind the screen, okay? Because a rejection behind the screen is not a rejection. You have something that protects you, like she's far away, you don't really feel it, no one knows about it, it's secretive, it's just you and her, then you don't feel rejected in that situation. Why do men do so much, and I'm sorry to say it like this, guys, stupid mistakes with women? Because everything I just mentioned is stupid mistakes in their dating life, just to avoid rejection. Let's start by understanding that, okay? Rejection, that's something that you have to know. Rejection is something that you are inclined on the biological level to avoid. Because if you were rejected, and I'm talking about rejection, okay? If you were rejected as a monkey or as a prehistoric human being, you would get cast away from society, okay? You would get cast away from the tribe, and you'd have to survive by yourself, which wasn't possible with the amount of predators and everything that we have there, okay? Now let's leave the science of it, and let's talk about the psychology of it. The moment that you are getting rejected by a woman, or not even by a woman, by a group, by people generally, if you get rejected by a good friend, if you get rejected by a woman, if you get rejected from your family, if you get rejected, the moment you get this rejection, the triggers come up. And this trigger tells you deeply that you are about to lose something very valuable to you. People are afraid of rejections. People feel the pain when they are getting rejections because they are being cast away. They are pushing. Other people use rejection. Okay, society uses rejection as a way to cast you away, to push you away. And this emotional, I'm not even talking on the biological level, this emotional need that you have to be accepted, and we all have this. Everyone wants to be accepted. Everyone have the need to be accepted. I'm not talking about validation and ego stuff. I'm talking about being accepted. A person can't live completely alone on this earth. Okay, it doesn't comply with our emotional needs. You can try to cut it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't comply with your emotional needs, and every person emotional needs is to be accepted. The moment you get rejected once, it's an opening for yourself to get rejected more and more and more and more, and this way you would be unaccepted by people, by society, by women. And when you get to this point, this is a point that's really hard to get out from. And this is why when you feel rejection, you feel pain. Pain shows you always, when you have pain, physical pain, emotional pain, it shows you when I go there, something dangerous might happen to me. Okay? And the moment that this is what you feel about rejections, you are not able to get rejections. Now, okay, we understand the idea of rejections. Let's let's go a little bit just in one sentence. Why does it matter? I mean, why wouldn't you just let go and not get rejections at all? You can put yourself in situations, you can actually avoid situations that might reject you, right? Wrong. If you want to get anything other than what you have now, you would have to take risks. You would have to do things in life that would put you in situations that you will be rejected. Not might, you will be rejected in these situations. You need to understand how to play with these rejections, because in today's world, there is no progress without rejection. And this is what we're going to dive very deep in this podcast episode. So, then I have a question for you, which I know you are super expert about. How do you minimize rejections? Because the guys are now feeling very scared of it. Let's see, how can we minimize the rejections?
Okay, of course, I would say really rejection is about basically what you can do, and I'm master of rejections because I'm like all my game was based on rejection. I used to go out and on a purpose, okay, let me go out there and do like a 10 approaches. Let me do 10 mistakes so I can learn to be better. For me, every going out, I took myself like 1-2 years of training, and I was like, okay, let me go out there and do mistakes. So basically, it's a feedback. For me, rejection is a feedback. I did something wrong. Let me go home. Let me fix, fine tune, find solutions for it. Let me go back. I'm stronger each time. I'm thankful for every rejection, for every girl who rejected me. She got me the next girl, or the girl 2 weeks from now, because I didn't do the same mistake on the girl when I really
Subscribe
liked her,
now.
and I knew exactly what to say, how to maneuver, how to escape the mistake. So it's like learning a new sport, learning a new game or anything. Of course, learning how to walk, learning languages, learning how to fly, skydive. There are mistakes. You will do mistakes. So being afraid of doing mistakes is actually you are limiting yourself to improve. It's all come down to bettering yourself. And I would say, when we talk about kind of rejecting in a game, okay, you are approaching girls, okay, there are two things you can play with on a pro level, okay. One thing is to control. I mean, rejections will happen, okay. You will do mistakes, you'll say something stupid, you will, be nervous, you will, they will reject you. She may be like, I don't know. It's not even about you. In most cases, it's about them. Like, they are not ready to meet you. She's nervous, has a fucked up day, like, fuck off, I don't want to talk with you. It's nothing to, even you did like your best game, you approach the wrong girl who is in a wrong, she's on a period, she's like crazy, she's like, who knows what's happening, she will reject you. So what you have to learn is how to handle that feeling, that moment, okay? So that's number one thing. And we will talk about that later, how to handle what's being triggered, what you feel in that moment, because you will feel something. You will feel shame, you will feel like a piece of shit, you will feel whatever that rejection is linked to you, okay? And the beauty is that it's possible to relink, to feel something different. It's possible even to feel happy when you get rejected. I'll talk about it later, And then the second thing is minimizing the amount of, rejections, okay, that you are getting. So basically, first learning how to handle emotions that happen, but second thing, minimizing actually even how much do you experience rejections, okay, so let's say maybe if you approach 10 girls a day or in a week, you get rejected like 5-6 times. So basically, if you manage to minimize or rejections comes to 1 or 2 times out of 10, now that's bearable. Now you can, that's okay. That's kind of numbers game. On 10 girls, 1 girl, of course, is not going to like you, or she's not going to be in the mood to have to talk with you or to have something more with you. But let me put more intelligence into rejection, and this is basically what you guys never probably been thinking about, and that's kind of what I do. I sit at home and stare at the wall, drink my coffee, and think about possible solutions, to the problems. So this is let's see when. I think that's the number one thing is when does rejection happens? Okay, so let's separate 3 segments in a timeline. So you are talking with a girl. You're trying to seduce her. There are 3 possible time segments, time periods when rejection can happen. First 3 to 5 seconds, okay? If a girl rejects you within first 3 to 5 seconds, it's a rejection based on first impression. You smell wrong, you dress bad, you bring creepy vibe, you bring wrong energy. She's like, it's like a gypsy approaching you on a street. Like, you see him like, no, sorry. That's the first impression, okay? So you can minimize the amount of rejections by controlling the first impression. You dress nice, you smell good, you have a nice smile on your face, you come with a positive energy, you have a good opener, you bring good energy. So like, if you control the first impression, girl is gonna give you, this guy is normal, she's gonna be more friendly and open to talk with you. Okay? Of course, if you come in a wrong energy, wrong attitude, nervous, like unattractive guy, unattractive like on not physically, but like on personality level. Like, no, sorry, like it's just kind of something wrong with the guy. Of course, she's gonna cut. No one wants to talk with that kind of guy. So mastering the first, I would say 80, and that's kind of what most of the guys are really afraid. When we talk about rejections, they usually get rejected within the first 3 to 5 seconds. I would say 60 or 70% of the guys fail at this stage. And then we have the second stage. It's the next 5 minutes. So first 5 seconds, first 5 minutes. Okay? First 5 minutes rejections are usually from the wrong offer. Now, let me explain what this means. She's in a nightclub. She's with her girlfriends, but actually she came to the nightclub to have fun, to have an amazing time, maybe like, to make out with some guy, maybe like, to go home with some of the guy. Like she's open for adventure. She was working whole week. Now she wants her mind off and she wants to have some fun. It's a weekend. She wants to use her weekend. And you approach and you look friendly. She opens the gate. She lets you to talk. But then after 2 minutes, she sees you just want to talk. You're like, hey, you ask lots of questions. Your energy is a little bit low. You kind of blah, blah, blah. So what do you do this, what that? You want to... So basically, it's a wrong offer. She wants to have fun, and you want to talk. You're asking about how she's brothers, sisters, where she works, like who are the friends. You want to socialize. She wants to have fun. Wrong offer. You are giving her the wrong thing. What she's going to do, she's going to cut this conversation and allow to be approached by the next guy who wants to have fun with her. Okay? Sometimes, like, it's a different thing. Sometimes a girl, like, she wants actually to, to converse, to talk, and, I don't know, to meet a boyfriend, and you come there fully, like, for adventure. Like, you come like there, you want to kind of have sex with her, and she's like, no. Again, you'll experience rejection. Why? Because you didn't calibrate, you didn't adjust your offer. If a girl, basically, you come, you run a car shop, okay? You sell cars. Person comes in and he wants to buy Porsche. And you're like, oh, I have amazing Skoda for you. Maybe you would like, Golf or Skoda or Volkswagen. He's like, no, sorry. I came here to buy Porsche. Oh, but we don't have Porsche. Maybe you want this. You will get rejected. So it's a wrong offer. If a person who wants to buy SUV, family car, you sell him like some convertible, or you try to sell him some convertible car, he will reject you. He will reject not you. He will reject your offer. Okay? So that's what you have to understand. Like, girl is not rejecting truly you. She rejects what you present, what you want to give her. If you want to give her just amazing conversation and this kind of intellectual conversation in the middle of the club, she'll probably reject that. She's there to party, she's there to have fun, to be physical, to let the mind off and be in her body. So yes, so this is the second stage where you will
Actually, before you go to the third stage, on the second stage, guys, there's something else I'd like to add, small thing. We said 5 seconds and 5 minutes, right? So the 5 seconds is like the first impression. You need to understand in the first 5 seconds, she puts you into one of 3 different categories. We're not going deep into this. This is for another episode, the whole first impression episode. But she puts you in yes, no, or maybe. The only way for you to get another way not the only way. Another way for you to get rejected in the 5 minutes point is when she put you in the maybe zone. It means she doesn't know if it's yes and she doesn't know if it's no. She puts you in the maybe zone, and then you just didn't deliver. You didn't. She gave you like 5 minutes to boost yourself up to the yes zone. You couldn't do it. You didn't have the tools. You didn't have the skills. You didn't understand what to do in this situation, because this situation of these 5 minutes, it's pure skills. Pure skills. It's like the looks, everything. It got you the ticket in. Now these 5 minutes are skills. If you didn't have the skills to make it happen, then she would also reject you. So it can be the offer. It can be that you miss something there. Yeah.
That is so correct. And let me upgrade this with my thoughts. So in this, so basically you approach, you look normal, you look friendly, but she doesn't like you. There's no attraction. If there is attraction up front, she will put you in a yes category. Yes, I like this guy. And then everything is easier. We all been there. You just kind of ride the wave, and you just don't do mistakes, and you have this goal. But lots of girls, and I also lots of approaches. Even she's not sure. Okay, do I like him? I don't like. Okay, let me talk with him to figure out. So she gives you 5 minutes. Okay, she gives you 5 minutes for you to create attraction. If you failed at creating attraction, she will, of course, say, okay, move on. Okay, makes sense. And then there is the last 5 minutes of conversation. So it's like a first 5 seconds, 5 minutes, mid game, and then last 5 minutes. And in last 5 minutes, she rejects to give you a phone number. She rejects to go home with you. She rejects you to kiss with you, to escalate. She rejects to, go to leave her friends and go with you somewhere else. So you experience different kind of rejection. And this is more closing rejection. And now, the closing rejection is the more complex, because actually it's the whole game together. Usually it's 3 things. Either you didn't create enough attraction, she doesn't like you. It's like nothing. Why she's gonna kiss you or she's gonna go home with you, if you're just an average guy. She doesn't trust you. Second reason, she's not gonna leave her friends. She doesn't give you a phone number because you are kind of player. She doesn't know. She doesn't feel safe. And then number 3, which is actually in most cases, and this is the most important, is the sexual energy. She doesn't feel anything sexual for you. Because if you want to continue with something, there needs to be some physical, sexual component, sexual magnetism, sexual energy bubble between these 2 people. Especially if you want to kiss or you want to have, one night stand with that girl, there needs to be some sexual chemistry between these 2 people, between you and the girl. If you fail to create this, of course, she's gonna reject the offer to go home with you. You don't want to sleep with a girl that you are not sexually attracted to. Why would you sleep with her? I don't like this girl. Okay, I don't want to see her naked. I don't want to spend a night with her. I want to spend a night with a girl that I find attractive, that's beautiful, that's hot, that's kind of that my body says, I like her. That kind of girl, you want. And same thing is for the opposite sex. Girls as well, if they don't feel, I like this guy, I want to have sex with him, I want to, spend a night with him, she's not going to continue the journey. She will cut it there. She'll say, okay, thank you, bye-bye. Or here's my, Instagram, bye-bye. Let's continue talking. But, there's not going to be much to move on. You agree with this?
Yeah, actually, I think that, like you said, most of these type of last-minute rejections come from understanding or misunderstanding the woman. It's miscommunication, misunderstanding of the situation. So it can be like her own shit with herself, like she's on her period or something like that. It can be mistakes you've made in the seduction process. Let's call it like when you were talking to her, okay, in the whole process of meeting her. But the reason matters less as much as you understanding that if you have this type of rejections in the last part, it's also not really something about yourself. It's not that she rejects you personally, because it's not she decided immediately like, oh, you know what? I actually don't like you. Like Dan said. I think it's more about you doing something wrong, even if you don't understand it. Okay? It may look to you like I'm doing everything okay. Doing things okay doesn't really get you results. Okay? It's something that we need to put on the table. Okay? Doing things okay, okay, or like average, doesn't get you results with women. There is no woman who say, I want an average guy. And you don't want an average girl. Do you want to be with an average girl? No. There is no person who wants to be with an average person. Okay? So if you don't want average, you can't be average. You have to learn the next level of everything: skills, self development, building your character, everything. Some of the stuff we'll speak here, some of the stuff we'll talk later. But generally, you should understand the triggers for these rejections so you can handle them better. And why is that? Actually, I think we'll go into this a little later, right? Then about the building the character, building his character of life, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about it later.
Okay, so actually, I'd like to deliver to you a question that went through my mind when you were talking. You said that rejection is, I mean, you can't control her rejection most of the time. You can only control your actions and reactions, right? Um, what I'm trying to figure out is, I mean, I know that if the guy will learn what to do, then it will be easier for him to control his reaction in a better way. But let's say a guy who didn't learn and wants to do it by himself. How can he change his bad reactions that create rejections to him? You know, it can be that he's coming to a girl and he's like too tense, or like in the middle in the start of the conversation, he's like saying stupid things, or like he can have reactions like this that are fucking him up with women, right? How can he control these reactions?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, that's a great question, and I would say here we are talking about the whole Stoic approach, philosophy of you can control life, what happens in a life, but you can control how you react to it. You're in a car crash, you cannot, or it just happened. Okay, like and it's gonna happen in your life once. So you cannot control it when it's gonna happen, but you can control how will you react to certain things. And this is basically the whole learning how to be human, and the whole human interactions is basically, instead of taking defaults, you can actually rewire and rethink how would be, good way to, to respond. You have to understand that lots of our actions, I would say pretty much everything, not everything, but like 80, 90% of what we do, we repeat the patterns that we learned. When you go to the toilet, you're not thinking about it. You just basically, there is a neural pathway connections that you just act, that's being there for like a 20, 30 years since you learn how to go into the toilet. So you're just gonna activating the same thing. When you open a computer, when you basically go there and make yourself a coffee, you're not creating new neural connections. You're basically using the same pathways that are being created. When somebody tells you, I love you, how do you feel? You feel basically, or basically you wanna activate the process of thinking that's been established there already. So pretty much we are the drones, the robots of our neural connections that we create. Same thing for rejection. Maybe in a kindergarten, first girl told to you, like, okay, when you try to play with her, basically you try to share some toys, she was like, no, I don't like you, and she pushed you away. Your first rejection. Or maybe like your first rejection was like when you were hungry and your mother didn't give you the milk. So you experience rejection there, and then it just builds on these narrow pathways, build on from week to week, from year to year, from experience to experience, and they are really strong, and they're like in lots of emotions involved. So when you experience a rejection on a street, talking with a girl from a woman, in a nightclub, doesn't matter, you're actually activating all of those narrow connections. You just kind of you allow this trigger to activate whatever has been installed there for like your whole existence. Okay, so basically you have no control over it, and that's why it hurts. It doesn't hurt that situation. It hurts accumulation of all those experiences together. So, what you can do, what I did for myself, and basically what I'm doing for my students, for my clients, and actually, I have seen crazy success stories, how to rewire the feeling, basically, the rewire the rejections. What I did for myself, I sat down and I was like, okay, how do I want to feel, and what do I want to process when I experience rejections? Because they will happen. It will happen. I'm not gonna be on top of my game every day. Sometimes I will feel tired. I'll approach in a wrong energy, and she'll be like, no, I don't want to talk with you. It's gonna happen. What I can control, I can try to minimize that, yes, but what I can do, I can control how do I react on it. So I program myself, okay, what I'm gonna do when this happens, I'll smile, high five, I'm gonna live with a dignity, and I'm gonna turn the thinking process. What did I learn here? What were the lessons here? I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for them because I know they're gonna better me. I know they're gonna make a better man. This is a learning point. I'm thankful for it. So, instead of walking away from them in a shame, I walked away with a pride. And I chose different emotion. It took me some time. It took me probably a month to completely rewire. And it's unbelievable because it's neuroplasticity, okay? You can rewire your brain. I remember, I had problems with girls above my league, nines and, super, super hot girls. I was a student and they're a nines and tens, the hottest girl in a nightclub. First, I remember I was paralyzed. I saw the girl and I was like, oh no, you're not going there. That girl you don't deserve. Basically, and all the thinking process, you don't deserve her, you're not gonna have her, this not girl for you, blah blah blah. Everything was being installed by society or who knows from where it came, movies and stuff, was triggered. Then I went home, I sat down, in a piece of paper, and I wrote a new inner voice text for that situation, and I installed it into my brain. So the new inner voice, next time when I saw a hot girl, or a couple of next times because it takes some time, it was like, that's my girl. Whenever I would see a 10, it's my inner voice would activate. That's your girl. This is why you are training for. You are the only one in this place, in this club, bar, that can have her. That girl you deserve for all your trainings, for all your dedication, for all the knowledge. I'm the only one who has the knowledge to go there and get her. So, and it's funny because 10 years later, even today I have this belief, I'm sitting with my girlfriend in a coffee, and I see a beautiful, a girl, I feel my body wants to go there. That's your girl, and I'm like, oh, I need to put resistance. Imagine this, I need to, no, calm down, no, stop, that's not, I have a girl next to me, beautiful girl next to me. I don't need this girl. But my inner voice, my inner action is go there and get her. That's your girl. So of course I can sit down and reprogram that. That's no problem. It's gonna take me 2 weeks. So it is about mastering your mind. Okay, so it's really possible. And I'm gonna tell you.
Actually, then I remember that you were teaching guys to use this rewiring thing not just for rejections, but for different stuff as well, I remember different summer camps where guys actually use these rewiring techniques that we were giving them to succeed in specifically night game, because night game was the hardest to them. It was amazing. Where did it come from? I don't even remember the thing that you gave them that you talked about, but where did it come from? What did you do?
We did different things, of course. Each you can use it for the business, for everything. But it really is rewiring your brain. And I think the best example, I never seen better example of rewiring your brain than my good wingman Conrad. And Conrad, if you're watching this, hi, I'm not sure where I lost him, in the world somewhere. Basically, what he did, he was he made his calculation. He made his belief. He was like, okay, I need to do approach like 5, 6 girls per night to get laid, to get a girl. And that was his, like, I mean, among many, many years of going out, he was like, okay, like, I need, like, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 10, like, on average, like, it's like 5, 6 approaches I need, like, And it's really funny how he created a reality where each approach is not sucking his energy down. It's not shame. It's pumping his energy up to the next level. So I remember, like, I was with him, like, once in a nightclub, and he goes there to approach a girl. I'm on a bar drinking like some Red Bull, water, something, and he approaches a girl, and I know she's like, no, 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 like, he's like, yes, 4 more, I'm getting late. Next one. So after every time he came back, he was like, 2 more, then 2 more, 2 more, 1 more, like, So his energy, by the time he got fifth, not approach, rejection, he was like so happy. He was such a good vibe. Like, he knew he's getting laid, with the next 1 or 2 approaches. And then, of course, like, when you approach this, a girl with this kind of energy, with so much happiness, with so much, you know, like wow emotions, of course she's gonna be with you, like, so. And then, of course, like, the girl number 5 or 6, he took and he went home with her, like, but it's amazing how you can rewire the brain, not just, rewire the rejection, not that you feel shame, you feel bad, but actually you feel happiness. And I have seen many ways, and basically we found many ways how to do so. Like, I would say neutralizing them, putting them to the neutral, like, is the best. Of course, you can put some, like, positive emotions to it. That's great. Like, but it's all how you talk with yourself, with your inner self, and which pathways are you activating or linking with this moment.
Yeah, amazing. Actually, the moment you mentioned this guy Conrad, and the thing he did there, it reminds me of something very valuable that I want to teach guys about rejections. Guys, rejections generally, when we talk about approaching women face to face, actually meeting them face to face, and getting rejected there, one of the biggest pinpoints of it, like the best, advantages of it, is that it builds a character for you as a man. So the moment you can get rejected so much, for example, I was rejected 5,000 times before I got my first yes. In a row. 5,000 times. I'm talking about months of going every day, morning till night, not even sleeping, not having, like, just approaching. I got so many no's before I got my first yes. And the thing that this thing is doing to you, it restructures your mind so hard that you just don't know when to quit. Okay? You just have this restructure of your mind where you don't know where to quit. It builds a character, a specific character in you. It builds your character so strong that women can smell it, that women can feel it from you. And the moment that you are going through the rejection phase, the moment that you are going through these hardships, let's call it hardships, okay, hard moments of like getting rejected, and instead of taking it as rejection, like Conrad did, take it as one more step forward. Like the rejection is like a verification that you just made another step forward. Okay, the moment that you take it like this, on your mindset level, on your emotional level, you are building a character so strong, so masculine, that women just can't resist it. They feel you are built different, okay? And if you don't believe me, just think to yourself, which man would a woman prefer? A man that would come to her looking very sexy with his eyebrows being made and and looks very, very good. And he's coming to her, and the moment she rejects, I did these type of movements on purpose, yeah? And the moment she's like, she's rejecting him, he's like, getting pissed off like a baby. Or on the other side, he's like, getting offended and like, yeah, I didn't even want her, like his ego just jumps up. Or a guy who he comes to her happy and energetic, and he's like approaching her, she's like, no, I don't want you, and he just walks away. Okay, it's good. And he's continuing his life like this. Which kind of man do you think a woman would prefer? Okay? The moment that you are able to put yourself through rejections, and it will only happen in field when you are getting rejected face to face, not on the text, not on the WhatsApp, not on the Instagram, not through a friend when you tell him, I like this girl, can you meet between us? And he tells you she doesn't really like you. Not like this, face to face, when she looks you in the eyes and tells you no. Or what mostly happens, she just do this. When you can um, when you can handle rejections on the emotional level without even flinching anymore, when it doesn't even scratch you, touch you anymore, that's the moment you've become a man so strong, so masculine, so independent that women have to be with him, okay? And you need to understand that you can avoid rejections, but if you avoid rejections, you avoid a very crucial part of your journey, of your progress as a man in your dating life and in your general life. Because a man who can get rejected by women, when a woman rejects you, okay, it feels, maybe it's not like this, but for you, it feels like you are being rejected on the deepest level. Because it's not like offering someone a pen. Do you want the pen? No. Okay, you don't feel anything. You offer yourself in. And when a woman tells no to you, you feel it gets into your guts, right? A lot of the times, because this is your mindset about it. When she says no, and you are able to, I wouldn't say feel nothing, but more like it wouldn't change your mindset. Okay, it wouldn't change the way that you feel. If you were happy, you would stay happy. Okay, you would be at the same state exactly. It doesn't really change the way you feel. That's the moment that you went through this rejection phase of your journey, of your progress in dating. And that's when you've built a character that women can be super attracted to you. And I think that other than building the character, there is one more advantage to rejections, which I think then can deliver the best. Then, what's the advantage of getting rejected multiple times? Or, you know what, I'll ask it differently. Because I know that there are guys who are at pickup or seduction community, and they are approaching a lot and get rejected a lot, but they don't learn from it. They don't get better at all. So I wanted to know what differentiates guys like us, us and our students know that we actually progressed through the rejections, to the I don't know, seduction guys that are always approaching and always get rejected, but they stay at the same place for years. What's the difference actually?
Great question. One more, bro. You're asking great questions today. So, points for you. It's a feedback. It's first, basically, it's a learning point. If you approached a woman and she rejected you and you didn't learn from that moment, you failed at this game. You failed at bettering yourself. You failed. Basically, what they are doing with rejections, they are building ideal men out from you. They are building the dream man. They're building the most attractive version of you. So it's not a rejection. It's a rebuilding process, you to become a guy that they want to sleep with, all of them. That's what they're doing. I mean, I'm good because I allowed them to reject me. I allowed them to show me my weak points, what's not good about me. I lower down my ego. You need to do it as well, and teach me. I'm the student of women. Everything I know about women and about seduction comes from them. I read 0 books, 0 courses on that topic. I only have the street knowledge or the club knowledge. I went out there, teach me. And they're like, this is wrong, don't touch me, creepy, you're not smiling, this is wrong, that's wrong. And I was like taking notes. Okay, you don't like this, you don't like that, okay. And I was, okay, you don't like this about me, okay, I'm not gonna do this again. You don't like this, oh, you like this, okay, let me do this again. So it's all about feedback. There is limited number of mistakes you can make. And I knew it. I knew it from basically day one when I started approaching. This is one big pattern game. Things are always repeating. Conversations pretty much always the same. Like, girls of two will always behave the same way. One will like you, one not. Like, or two, or both will like you. It's a one big pattern. So it's just learning points. Rejections are, that's how you need to see it. Like, it's them pointing out the weak points of you and you rebuilding them. And each time you come back, you're stronger, you're better, you fix this one, you fix this problem here, you fix this here. I mean, this is how you're building a software, this is how you're building a house, this is how you're building anything in life. Learning the languages, you add more words into it, you become more fluent, more understanding, like how to learn how to drive the car, you learn how to park, you're fixing the weak points. So all what rejection is like saying this, I don't like this. When she says I, she means women. Because pretty much, if one doesn't like that because they all think the same, other one is not gonna like that as well. But then there is, kind of calibration between, countries and cultures, yes. But, so it really comes down to being their student and learning.
Please subscribe.
Basically, you're learning from negative feedback, and this is what guys have a problem, learning from the pain, from negative feedback. You need to be okay to receive what's wrong about you. It's just the ego. But then learning from the positive feedback. And this is what I have done. This is why I became the best of the best, because I was learning from the negative what she doesn't like about me, or not me, but the version I presented myself when I approached. Okay? It's like a role play. You go to an office. You dress in a suit, you follow certain codes, unwritten rules, how you're going to behave there. Is that true you? Yes or no? It doesn't have to be. It's a version of you. Then you go to the beach. You can, swimming pants, trunks. You kind of playing, volleyball with your friends, yelling, talking with girls. That's a version of you as well. You going to a job interview. You going to, meet, let's say family lunch. It's a different versions of you that you are playing. So if you come in a swimming trunks to the office, they will reject you. Why? Because you didn't follow the rules, unwritten rules. So same thing with a girl. She's not rejecting through you. She's rejecting how you behave in that certain, micro situation. Maybe you're on the middle of a street, you did something wrong but it really comes down to positive and negative feedback. I was collecting, most guys, they just collect negative ones. I was collecting positive ones. After every girl that I succeeded, every girl that I end up in some kind of a relationship or one-night stand, every girl I brought home, next morning after the breakfast, I was like, okay, now honestly, tell me at which point in a time and what did I do or said that you told to yourself, I'm going to have sex with him tonight. I'm going home with him. At which point did you start thinking about that? And they'll tell you, when you told me this, or when you touched me here, or when you, said this or did this. So what I did, feedback. They don't like this, they like this. So my whole game, what it became, my whole presence was removing what they don't like behavior and doing more of what I know, what got me success in the past. I removed all the fluff, everything in between, and it was just, after a couple of years, it was just, I was doing stuff that I knew that got me laid, that got me a girl last year. So it's a feedback. So by you allowing them, basically, you need to allow yourself, basically you allow yourself to learn from them. They are teaching you. They are your coaches. They're telling you this is not good and this is good. I don't like this, but I like this. Yes, there are some emotions attached to it, positive and negative ones. But it all comes down to that. You like that?
Actually, when you mentioned the point that you were taking negative notes or like asking them positive notes, I'm sorry, the other way around, and you're asking them when you are in bed with them, at which point did you decide to be with me and everything? It's a very good one, and it reminded me of something that I used to do, which was like every time I wanted to try something new. And this is, by the way, guys, how I differentiated, because guys always ask me, how did you know to learn from Bad Boy? For those of you who doesn't know, 10 years ago, I had to choose a coach to learn from because I had a really messed up situation in my dating life and in life in general, and I had to pick the best one. And guys till this day ask me, how did you know to go for Bad Boy? Which was like, he wasn't the most known one. There were a lot of famous coaches, but he definitely was the best. And like, how did you know he's the best if you don't understand? So this is part of it. Okay, check this out. Every time I got something new, some new tool, some new technique, some new something. Okay, and I was implementing it in my conversations with girls, and I was implementing it when I was talking to them. I was doing one of these two things. The first one would be noticing their immediate reaction. Okay, so if their face are squinching, okay, if they talk slower, like I check after I do this, I immediately go into receptive mode and try to understand exactly the reaction, the conscious and unconscious reactions that they have for what I just did. And this way I saw how a woman feels when I do this and this and this and this. The second thing I would do is later ask her, how did you feel when I do this? And then they tell you, like they go through it and they tell you what goes in their mind, what goes in their body, what they feel when you do the technique, the trick, the something that you were using, okay, that you were doing. And it's not really tricks, but like just anything that you will do, they will know to tell you how they felt. I don't ask what did you think, I ask how did you feel, okay? And then they tell me, and this way I could understand what stuff make women feel better and react better, because I want to know how she felt and how she reacted. How she reacted I can only see immediately after, and how she felt I can ask her later, because she processed whatever happened there, and then she got into a conclusion, unconscious conclusion or conscious, it doesn't matter, but like she got into a conclusion about what I did there. And this way I could take out all of the bad learnings, the bad stuff, and just take all of the good stuff. And just the things that were with Bad Boy is that they always were like, oh, I felt good, I felt feminine, I felt sexy, I felt this, I felt that. So you just see like where, where success flows. You could see it. So this is how I know how to choose my coach. But this is not the point. The point is like that I was using same thing for different purpose, but still the same thing. Understanding the feedback from a different perspective. So yeah, I really like that you were using and telling it. And actually, one more thing that I have in mind about these rejections is that only losers will laugh at you when you get rejected, okay? Let me put it straight like to your face, okay? Because guys are afraid to be rejected not just because of the women, but because of what other people will think, all right? And I'll talk in a moment what type of guys there are and what type of fears there are, but they also fear about what other people will think when they see them get rejected. And a thing I noticed in my progress in the dating life is that only the losers, the guys who can't get girls, who can't get success, who even if they get something, it always fucks up to them, the guys who are just not successful, They are the only ones who will make fun of you, who will laugh at you, who will see you on a lesser value because you got rejected. All right? When I was going out to clubs and bars and trying stuff, it's always the guys who are getting laid and the guys who have a lot of success and the guys who the girls love that were coming to me and like, good one, good one. These guys would come to me and tell me, good one. You know, that they would be like, they would be encouraging because they don't fear of me. I'm not competition for them. You know, it's not like I'm fighting them because they are already feel very confident in their skills with women. It's always the guys that don't even have the courage to approach, to talk, to do something that would laugh, that would do like this, ha ha ha, or whatever, or just look, or just think bad things about you. Why am I telling this to you? Because once you will be a man that have his life figured out, and figured out means that you feel you are on the right path towards whatever you wish from life. When you are doing whatever you want to do, when you are happy, when you are fulfilled, when you've built yourself a life that you've dreamed about and you say, yes, this is what I want, or you are on the way there, you know that you are on the right path to this life, this is when you feel valuable, and this is when whatever rejection you will ever get, you don't even feel it. You know, it minimizes so much in comparison to who you are in your eyes that it can't even touch you. Okay? The moment that you will be a guy that's happy with himself, and you don't have to be successful for it, it's about your own way of seeing, like being happy with yourself. There are guys who are complete losers. They have nothing in their life. They just, feel fulfilled in their life, and women sleep with them, okay? And they still get women. Why? Because they deliver this feeling of like, I'm happy. That's all. Now, the moment that you feel fulfilled in your own life, it's your feeling, okay? The moment that you feel fulfilled in your life, rejections can't touch you. It's like, you don't approach them for them. And you don't need them to approve you when you are fulfilled with your life. You just feel good, and you come there to create another experience with a woman. If she doesn't want this experience, it's not that, oh no, I'm not approved, I'm rejected, I'm a loser. It's like, okay, I'm not even investing my time. A smart guy, a guy who has fulfilled life, investing his time only on stuff that make him happy. Okay? I'm not being happy by fighting with girls that don't want to be next to me. Even if I can switch it or play with it, I don't even want to. He just goes to another good-looking girl, and he knows that she will want him because he feels fulfilled with his life. He feels happy. The rejections that he has, whatever they are, he can't even see them. Okay? I'm telling you, it's like sometimes people were asking me, how many approaches have you done tonight? Especially in the pickup community, in seduction community. How many approaches have you done tonight? And I mostly can't tell, not because I can't count, and not because I did too much, okay? It's because you don't really count approaches. You just know what you want, and you go for it. Rejection is not even in your in your vocabulary. When you're this type of guy, you're so fulfilled, so happy, rejection is not even part of your vocabulary, and it's just not part of your reality. And in this moment, there is no way other than succeeding with women in this situation. Okay, so if you want to really succeed to go over rejections, you need to do a change to better your life. How do you think they can better their life then?
Wow, you brought up very good point here, and I really like that. And it's a moment. It's a value game. It's a lifestyle game. When you come to the point where you don't need her to be happy, and they can feel that. She can feel that this guy, he doesn't need me. He doesn't need my presence, my energy. He's happy. That's very attractive. being a guy, and that's kind of what I would say the best way to remove rejections is building your lifestyle, working on yourself, improving yourself, bettering yourself, being, it's like I know I came to the point I was traveling around the world. I had like my company in like, in the US, like, seminars all over the world, like, like I would approach a girl and she like reject me. And I was like, stupid girl. I mean, you could tomorrow travel the world with me. You could like, enjoy that life and you reject me. I mean, I'm the guy you're searching for. So yeah, my pain, but her loss. She lost more in that transaction than me. And this is basically, it really didn't hurt me. I was just like, I would approach a girl and I would laugh at them when they would reject me. I was like, I mean, you just made the most stupidest decision in your life. Stupid girl, not realizing what she lost. And then, kind of move on. Like, I was laughing at them. Because, I mean, some girls, they're smart enough to recognize, oh, this guy is solid, this guy is something. Some girls, they will just kind of reject you, like, no, whatever, like, not even giving you a chance to, present yourself. But, those are the stupid girls, So, yes, I would say the ultimate goal, how you're going to minimize amount of rejections is, bettering up yourself, working on yourself, on the skills. The more skills you have, you learn about the wine, you learn how to play guitar, I don't know, you invest into a nice house, like, you work on your business, on everything. And then, like, basically having everything and then having the skills to deliver all of that, like, and to present and to be an amazing guy as well, like, then you're not going to feel rejected, like, because, like, your value is higher. Basically, what you have to offer is higher than what she has to offer, like, so it's like it's all about the offer game, like, so yes, values are one thing. There's lots of things basically what you need to work on here to kind of minimize rejections and minimize emotions that you feel, or rewire the emotions that you feel, like, as Mercy said, like, many things as well. But we are out of the time for this podcast, so let's continue in the next one. And in the next one we're going to talk about first impressions, and actually that's gonna help you a lot to minimize. And so thanks guys for watching. For all of you who watched till the end, till the next episode, go out there, talk with some girls, enjoy, bye.